And I have reason to believe that there are a lot of fans who think that this story is bullshit. Right? There's a lot of them, and uh, it's really disconcerting to me that something that you're not even accused of being, other than associating with somebody, is having these impacts. So I guess I'm interested in, like, how has this affected you guys individually? What you're doing, and then what you're doing to fight back about it. I guess that'd probably be, and I'll let you guys take them in whatever order you want to go. But Mark's in the upper left-hand corner, so I'll go with that.
Yeah, I think, in terms of the, how it's affected us. I mean, it's been a difficult 5 years. I mean, never did I realize that, standing for due process could be so unpopular. Obviously, I grew up incredibly privileged. I grew up in Chesterfield, Missouri, in suburbia. So I've lived a very privileged life. Like, I didn't have a lot of interface with, I just had no interface with the justice system. I think what's the interesting thing that I can say is I used to tick the N-word publicly with my Tourette's. I used to just involuntarily be saying the N-word out loud.
I'm sure that goes over great in St. Louis.
Goes very well in St. Louis, actually. And I just say this because I now, just being unwilling to be hateful in this situation, just being in a situation where I am fighting for my friends' constitutional rights, trying to expose the FBI, trying to expose what the prosecutors did, I have experienced more hate now than I ever did living with Tourette's. And I think that just sort of captures, the difficulty of the situation. I know for a lot of us, we've lost a lot of friends. People that have known me for decades, don't want to associate with me because they think that, how could I be supporting someone like Keith Raniere? How could I be supporting an organization that doesn't even exist anymore, like NXIVM? So I think for me, that's one of the hardest things. You never really are prepared for dealing with that kind of hate and prejudice. But it's so that's hard, but it's not enough to stop us.
Well, and as Eduardo has pointed out earlier when he came on the podcast, and I'm a pretty firm believer on, is there has to be some line somewhere, and
this is it.
There's a case to be made for this being it. Sunil, why don't you go next?
Yeah, I guess I come to it with a little bit of a different perspective or a station in it. I wasn't really very involved in the organization. I came into the organization so close to all this disaster, and I had, very banal, like, techie life with a software company, East Village apartment, like, very granola. So I didn't think, I couldn't anticipate I would be in this situation. But seeing, really good people, really bright, good, kind people getting, metaphorically bludgeoned in front of you has kind of an impact. I got to meet Nikki, Mark, Eduardo in some of the hardest times of their life. I met Allison Mack, Lauren Salzman, Nancy Salzman, Claire Bronfman, and Keith very briefly, and was moved to go to the trial to see what's, it's something just felt very wrong. And obviously I had my own views of it, but I wanted to see the evidence. And then at the end of the trial, I had this thought of, I think I saw a guy get railroaded, and, what to do about it. I have, at the time, sterling Google results, Harvard background, everything an Indian family could ask for, a company that was going well, and all these various things. And I thought, should I torch that to become an alleged, brainwashed sex cult fiend supporter or whatever? And I took a couple of weeks, and Eduard and I lived a couple blocks from each other at the time, so that was helpful to be close. And I just couldn't turn away from it. It's like it would haunt me forever. So I went and I met with Keith, and I don't even know that he recognized my face. I think he sort of, because I waved and he came over, and the rest is sort of history. It was totally worth it. I've definitely lost some business. I had sold my company prior, so I'm just a solopreneur consultant. Certain friends from my college network think I've maybe gone insane. Despite my days being like this, Zoom, computers, normal stuff. So I don't think I've suffered as severely as the people on this call. As far as the loss of relationships and material damage and things like that. But it's just a privilege to be able to do something meaningful with people I highly love and respect. So that's sort of why I'm here, and it's just awesome to be able to do something. Then the other thought that I had, just one final note on, is I thought maybe I should wait later. Maybe I should wait till there's like the what's become too normal of like a black man wrongfully accused on death row. But people have become so desensitized to that sort of thing. And I thought, what's a better case than the most hated dude who's got nothing going for him according to the narrative at all, and anyone who supports him gets risked with the worst kind of repercussions? Like, when are you going to get a better set of circumstances and media attention, totally nonpartisan, totally non-political? When are you going to get a better shot than this? And I believe it will come out that every single person is demonstrably innocent. It's not like there were crimes. Like, innocent, good people. When are you going to get a better chance than this? So I felt it was just an incredible opportunity and a scary opportunity, but that's what I feel, and I stand by it.
Yeah, well, let's see how the Johnny Depp verdict comes back. Like, once again, you'll never get another better set of circumstances for people to go, this doesn't add up. How about you, Nikki?
So when I even think about or recount everything that's happened, it's still a little bit surreal. I lost my closest friends, my career, my reputation, my home, pretty much everything, and had to not just start from scratch, but do so while I thought I was going to be federally indicted. So I got a job at a coffee shop, and every time a man walked in with a suit, I'd go into fight or flight thinking they were coming to get me.
Yeah.
And so it was very difficult. I've lost, friends either because the government has separated us or because they've decided to turn their backs on something they dedicated their lives to for 15 years, or just turn their back on our friendship. But as weird as it sounds, I wouldn't trade any of it. I've found out who my true friends are. I've found out who I am and what I'm made of. And I'm sure, and I hope there will be even more tests of my character and what I can do to stand up for what I believe in and have those principles exist in the world. But I've certainly been given the opportunity to become stronger and not just someone who says things on Twitter that sound good. I think the trajectory of an actor and celebrity / influencer can be quite shallow. So the fact that I've been given this opportunity to really experience an extreme amount of prejudice and understand the criminal justice system the way that I do without having to go to law school, although I may have paid about as much money in legal fees to learn what I now know. It's really a gift, and my hope is that it's not in vain, that we can bring forth the injustice and free our innocent friends from prison, and also change the system and help more people. I look forward to being able to have more time when I can, focus more on helping people in prison, helping people before they go to prison or when they come out. So it's been very meaningful for me, and I feel very purposeful in this, but it's still very surreal and hard to believe at times.
So Steve, you're sick, so I'm going to cut you a little bit of slack, but I do want to give you an opportunity to say something before I have Eduardo close this out here, if you want to.
You're on mute, Steve.
You're on mute, Steve.
Sorry. Yeah, the Rona's kicking in. No, as usual, you know, I'm just grateful to be here and to be able to have these conversations and to get to, you know, meet you guys. It's been great, as great as it could be to be discussing some of the worst legal precedents that's ever existed of the FBI, you know, planting evidence and destroying people's lives just because it feels threatened. You know, I can't help but feel really uncomfortable in my own chair knowing that these things have happened. You know, I've dedicated my life to making the world a better place. And I mean, for all accounts, I'm just a simple dumb mechanic, you know, who has a YouTube channel and writes some articles about some stuff, you know. But I've dedicated my life to making the world a better place and to bringing conversations to people about things that are important. And this is really, really important. Like, we cannot allow our government to bastardize justice. We just can't. And so, by all accounts, Keith Raniere could be the worst piece of shit on the planet, but he still deserves justice. This deserves to see the light of day, and it deserves to be seen by everybody so that it doesn't happen to everybody, because that's what's going to happen. If you allow it to happen once, it will propagate. It will happen more, and we just simply cannot allow that to happen. And so, as loud as we can be, as vocal as we can be, both in our support of the case, but also in the criticism of our government and our judicial system, both of those need to be extremely loud. And I think we're doing that work today, and hopefully we'll be doing it in the future. And again, thanks for having me here, Troy.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I can never have enough I can never have enough computer engineers or mechanics on.
Well, I give much better commentary when I'm not at work too, if you've noticed.
Well, I just played one on TV. Does that count? A mechanic?
A mechanic. You did play a mechanic. That's right. The most wussy mechanic I've ever seen.
Hey.
You didn't write that character. I'm not holding you responsible for writing that character. Eduardo,
yes.
How about you close us out here?
You know, I don't think I can say much better than what Steve was saying. You know, I think this country I am a dumb mechanic in some ways. And I mean, this country is founded by hard-working people like that. And I think that this is an amazing opportunity. I believe in that phrase that says, you know, never doubt that a small group of citizens, thoughtful citizens, could change the world. In fact, is the only thing that ever did. I really think that that's true. And I think that for whatever reason, this situation, that's what it is for us. We have a historic opportunity of really changing things quickly. And I don't know what we did to find ourselves in this circumstance, but I do know that we need to take advantage of it. And that's what I intend to do. You know, these agents, these prosecutors, even this judge need to be held accountable. And that's up to we, the people. And that's, you know, those are some phrases that I wanted to leave in people's minds. And these are very literal. And I know that everyone knows it, but I don't think people feel them anymore. I think we would need to recite them every day, you know, like in school. But I want to remind people that we, the people, police the police. We, the people, prosecute the prosecutors. We, the people, investigate the investigators and judge the judges. It is our citizens' job. I know that this is something that has gone forgotten, but it is the key for our civilization. And I don't see how we will have another opportunity to uphold that vow, our job, than corrupt prosecutors and agents going against the people they're supposed to protect. I don't think it gets that good. So I think, you know, I agree with Steve that the louder that you can beat the drum, like we do every day. Every citizen needs to be doing what we're doing every day. It is the only hope for civilization. This is why we immigrants come to America, because it has a civilized court, and we have the opportunity to repair it and to restore good faith on our organizations, like the FBI, like the court. And I don't see anything better that I could do with my life. And I would want to invite as many people as possible to beat that drum, like you were saying, Steve, and let's all go for it, and let's indict these agents, let's judge this judge and prosecute these prosecutors. We have to do it for things to change. And thank you, Troy, for having us, and we hope we can make of this an even bigger window, a bigger speaker to say these things.